coupled with the fact that even the real trained journalists these days, the man on the street who is learning, you know, to be a street journalist, would thrive in the controversy. So the control will have to come from, you know, the trained one first, that responsibility, and then people will gradually learn, you know, from it. And then you now talk about this.
Nkanu, you are a trained journalist.
Yes, I am.
You side with him?
Yes, very well. I think 100%.
Okay.
100%. Okay. There has to be that leadership by the trained journalist. Well, journalists by nature are supposed to be, you know, they're supposed to be responsible. They do have, you know, those inherent qualities of self-censorship, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And when they lead the way in leading conversations like Radio Now, then of course, you know, we would have a situation where, you know, people begin to toe the line of, you know, such leadership.
You know, Radio Now has a caveat. It goes beyond the news, which tells you it goes the extra mile.
Yes.
In digging up.
Yes.
It means one, training, two, impulse, reaction, and so on.
Yes. Yes. So there's that aspect of impulse. I mean, impulse is built into everybody, whether you are trained or not trained. But it is how you manage, you know, the impulse that, you know, is the issue. So impulse does come, and a lot of people are prone to impulses. And the natural impulse right now is for people to take out the phone and do whatever they have to do. I mean, I really enjoy the fact that people are taking out the phone, you know, to record. However, there must be some kind of, you know, check what you're, you know, sending out.
Because also quickly, sorry, because also the new slang would be, where are the pictures? That's why I quickly permit me to take you to the NSAS. The NSAS was given breather, like I said, you know, via the social media. A lot of people were sending pictures and messages. But at the end of the day, when that allegation of people were shot at, some people died, and that same question came again: where are the pictures? Where are the videos of those that died? Where are the bodies? You know, so those questions put a big question mark on the entire event that happened.
It became a debacle.
Yes, it became a debacle. And so the next time anybody that would want to report such an event would want to take pictures and video first, even before assisting somebody who is dying. You know, so that's how we gradually are pushing, you know, the limits of whether be it fake news, be it half-truth, be it innuendos, and then coupled with the fact that now you can even doctor you know, some of these pictures. So technology
again, no
expanding.
Thanks to the internet.
Yes, technologies keep expanding, you know, the template. So with the internet, with the technology in your hand, you can, you know, do and undo, you know. But in all of this, the same people still have, you know, mechanism for determining what is true, what is fake. So for us as a people,
what is barefaced propaganda?
Yes, but for us as a people, you find out that over time, the politicians also have latched in on that to also push propaganda.
Yeah. All right. Take your time from us at 22 minutes past 9 in the city of Lagos. The platform is Radio Now, 95.3 FM. And of course, this morning we're looking at citizen journalism and the damnable enticement of fake news. My guests remain Barrister Liboros Oshomah and broadcaster, journalist Nkanu Egbe. Nkanu, let's look at the so-called hike in pump price of petroleum products just the other day.
Yes.
Information management here.
Yes, information management. I don't think that was as a result of what they call it, citizen journalism. I think that what happened, you know,
you heard about a leak somewhere. Something.
No, it wasn't a leak. It wasn't a leak. This is what happened. The information managers for PPPRA, you know, put out some information which they shouldn't have put out, and immediately, and you know that, you know, the internet, you know, is your friend.
Oh yeah.
And it does not forget. immediately people latched onto that bit of information without any formal announcement being made as to a hike in pump price.
Which is the crux of the matter here.
Yes. Yeah. And so what immediately happened was that, I had pointed to the fact that there's analysis, there's a reportage and all of that, that comes with citizen journalism, is that when people saw this information, they analyzed that, there's a hike in price. Now, the PPPRA people immediately took down that information and then issued a press statement to correct the information that was put out earlier. The damage had been done.
Yeah.
Petrol stations, raised their, pump prices and all of that.
And that's why, for me, because now I made mention of when rumors start to spread, even intellectuals are turned to comment.
Oh yeah.
And that's why even when agencies of government or those in who are responsible, who are saddled with the responsibility of managing information, should be aware of this other tool to spread whether fake news or real news.
You remember, brings to mind this organization has a four-point
yes, Rotary
Club.
Yes,
is it fair? Is it the truth? Is it beneficial to all? Blah 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 blah. I think it runs through here.
Orientation. That's why you remember I talked about cultural bringing your responsibility to the state.
Yeah.
And so that's why those saddled with the responsibility of managing information should ensure that at every time you don't just put out information, you push the information beyond just putting it out. Because if you are not careful and you put out the wrong information, like he has said, the internet never forgets. Before you even pull it down,
and never forgives.
Yes, before you pull it down, a lot of people would have copied it and shared it. People who will not see the other end, and it goes like wildfire, and that's why there's need for not just say you're trained as a journalist now. There's also need for you to be trained as the modern journalists.
Okay.
So that you understand.
Century.
Yes, the 21st century journalist. So that you understand the usage of both the conventional tools and the new media tools.
And of course the abusage.
Yes, the abusage. So once you understand.
I want us to go back to something that he had mentioned earlier about the trained journalists leading the advantage or taking the advantage. I want to also say that the average citizen needs some kind of retooling or orientation. You are now a journalist, a citizen journalist, as it were, and you bear that responsibility of putting out information. And if you are going to put out any form of information, you have to think through certain questions. Am I being responsible?
That's where the orientation comes in.
Exactly. Am I being fair? Am I reporting the truth?
What effect might this story
exactly
have?
What stops government from collaborating with media houses such as these to say, okay, look, I know it's your responsibility, but also we want to show that I want to take this responsibility beyond this. These are the four-way tests of what you share on the social media. Is it the truth?
Is it fair
true?
to all?
Is it fair to all? Will it be injurious to somebody else?
Yeah.
So when you push that, first and foremost, like they say, responsibilities start from me. Government also need to show responsibility, and so that's where orientation comes in. So once you have that orientation, it's not a quick fix.
Liboros, let's quickly go there. Pushing what you're expanding that logic. Do you subscribe to government regulating the social media?
The social media itself is self-regulatory.
On paper?
In practice?
In practice.
Oh, really?
Yes, in practice.
Break it down for me.
But here, what we have here is that we have not even tapped into that wide regulation that the social media has. Social media in itself. And that's why if you go to Twitter, there are some tweets that are flagged. There are some tweets that you can't even see. They'll tell you because they contain, certain words. There are some tweets that you won't see because they are verified. And so, like Google will tell you that they have more than 10,000 staffs who are gatekeeping fake news.
Fact-checking,
fake news. I posted a video and then I used a song on YouTube. I used a song from, somewhere. And then, do you know what happened to that video? the song refused to play on the video I posted.
Because,
and there was a comment that because I have not shown that I had permission
to use that song.
To use this song. I also shared a video. I did a monologue, and I shared a video on that monologue. And that video did not show on YouTube that because someone else has shared it, and I do not have permission to share it.
But you know, good
all
news.
All these are regulations.
Good news, but you know, the formulators or creators of the social media had to go back into themselves to think up new things.
Yes.
Initially, this was not the case.
Exactly.
But in our country, let's concern ourselves with.
Okay,
with
so
our
you
country.
asked the question.
Yeah.
Should the state, what do you call it?
Regulate, giving this inbuilt mechanisms.
The question to ask is: are we a democracy or are we not? Now, if we are a democracy, then the people should regulate, not the state.
Okay.
And so, what the state should do, really?
Sorry. Please expand that.
Yes. So
people should regulate.
People should regulate. So let's say, for instance, somebody comes up with information that is not correct. There are different organizations that do fact checking. We should have Nigerian fact checkers. I mean, that should be a what do you call it?
A clearinghouse.
Yes,
of sorts.
Whether you call it state sponsored or whether you call it NGO sponsored, fine. But you should have fact checkers who immediately look at that information, mine data that runs either to confirm or to rebut that information, and immediately come out and say that information is not correct.
Yeah.
And then to add to that, what they do in other places is you have an agreement with the information managers or the social media managers and say, look, you should fact check most of the informations coming from this country. Otherwise, if there are informations that are fake or not true and would lead to problems or disaster, you'll be held responsible. And so there will now be special focus on that country. If the information is true, they will allow it pass.
Yeah.
But if it is fake or not true, they flag it, and in some cases will not even allow it go on their platform. So when you do that, you are still, the state is still controlling, but not controlling
directly.
Because you allow people express
themselves.
Liboros and Nkanu, are Nigerians amenable to things like this?
Yes.
Okay, the first yes, Nkanu.
Yes, Nigerians are amenable. You see, we are not as lawless as you imagine.
Okay.
There are a few people that are lawless. Yes.
Don't think for me. Please. Go on.
There are a few people that are lawless, but the majority of Nigerians conform. Put out the regulation today, and you see Nigerians, conforming to that regulation. Look at the issue of the COVID-19 regulations. Wear a mask, social distancing. Whatever it was, this, in spite of the controls that were on the street, Nigerians by themselves, knowing the effects or the disastrous effects of not wearing a mask, went ahead to wear masks.
Are you persuaded by what you see around yourself, around you today, Liboros? We are amenable.
Yes,
let's even go there.
Yes, but like they say, leadership must start from somewhere. A situation where you say don't drive one way, but the man who is to enforce the driving of one way, the law against driving of one way, he himself is driving one way. What you're telling people is that, like they say, in a state of lawlessness, it is illegal to be law-abiding. So the man who is to enforce the law is lawless.
But that also will be the law of that state.
Yes, by implication.
Written.
By implication.
Or unwritten.
There is difference between a written law and the behavioral law. So the written law is different, but the behavioral one is different, because the man who is to enforce that law obeys that law by impunity. And so what do you
I'm a little confused here.
Yes, so let me take it down a little bit.
The street light on Campbell Street, Central Lagos is not working.
Yes.
But you are calling the president in Abuja.
No. You know why? Do you know why? Do you know why I'm calling the president in Abuja?
Yeah.
Because you operate a fidibotto system of government where even the man at the local level...
Nkanu, take note.
Yes. Because even the man at the local
level... That's a quotable quote.
Even the man at the local level will need to go to Abuja to be able to fix that street lights. And so everybody looks towards Abuja. And but a situation, if you empower the man...
In a non-twisted federalism, is that what you have?
What you have is a twisted federalism.
I'm saying in a non-twisted federalism, should that be what you have?
You don't even need to call on the man.
Do you need the president to fix the traffic light in Lagos?
You don't need him.
Do you need him?
Go to the local government chairman, he will tell you, Oga, our location from the center never come.
Okay, come on.
Do you know why?
You are expanding the field.
Yes, that's why. These are the implications. Because the man who is saddled with that responsibility to fix that street light will need funds to do it. And then the funds he gets, all he has to do is the salaries. And the funds to fix that street light, they will tell you it's not in the budget for this year.
Nkanu, he has taken us there. We might as well just digress a little.
Yes.
The other day, the president signed an executive order pronouncing that allocations to local government should be independent of state government.
Yes.
My state governor, Akwa Ibom state governor, went to court to challenge that.
Yes.
At that point, whose fault? Who is at fault?
Well, I mean...
the system is at fault. The operators of the system...
Let him answer. I'm coming to you. Liboros, I'm coming to you. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, of course.
At that point.
Liboros has started it. He has already, helped me.
Let him not end it.
Yeah, but I would try to, add my own perspective. The state government or the state governor knows what serves him. He benefits from such allocations. He is the gate man by the constitution, by virtue of the constitution, to the local government.
And the chief accounting officer.
Yes, of course, of the state. So he's the gate man for whatever funds go to the local government. Of course, it is imperative on him, to deliver the money to the local government. But the money comes through him. So what has been happening? The state governors have been holding on to the money. And, the federal government says, no, this money should go directly to the local government. And then
the local government chairman, Liboros, will do nothing. The citizens will do nothing. Hold on. So we are all culpable.
Yes, we are. I had said consistently
and this is where citizen journalism comes in, because some of the things that we should be talking about are such things where we see infractions and we don't call them out. But instead, we are busy taking...
Many states have not had a local government elections for moons.
Yes. Do you know why?
It is okay.
No, not okay.
Oh,
Do
really?
you know why? You
I'm thinking
an
aloud.
upside-down federal structure.
Oh, come on.
Where the federal government is culpable and they will not have the balls to also call out the states.
The guts.
Yes, to call out the states. And so what they have is a system of rentiering. They sit down, like in my local government. Once allocation comes, chairman, take your own.
Which one? Your local government in Lagos? Okay.
Yes, chairman, take your own. Treasurer, this is your own. Vice, you are
Secretary.
looking, you have not collected your own. So at the end of the day, those at the state office also sit down and do the same. So the moral standing to now call out those at the bottom will not be there, even at the federal. So what you have...
Otherwise, we are talking about holding people in authority to scrutiny.
Yes. So what you have, take for example the National Assembly. If you have a proper structure, most of the members, about 95% of the members there will not find their way to the assembly. Even some people who parade as ministers will not be minister. But what do we do? You find out...
Would that be why so many things give when they make to go to the assembly?
Yes.
Including the unthinkable.
Exactly. That's why I told you that in Nigeria, education is not celebrated. What you have is psychophancy, referrals. Where is it from?
The rentier
system. So that's why the president...
Carpet baggers.
Yes. That's why the president, rather than sit down and push for an amendment of the constitution, would sign an executive order and say, well, they want a law. I've given them a regulation, knowing fully well that regulation can be challenged, and then they say,
I may not stand.
And then you say the governor who is also greedy, who believes that you are taking away his food. We say, no, this can't stand. We are supposed to be the gatekeepers here. I will challenge that. And then the judiciary also, that we say the windmill of justice grinds slowly but surely. But we forget that justice delayed is justice denied. The man who is there, who is appointed on the basis of, oh, the bearer is from me, appoint him, we cope. He gets there, for him, what is in it for me?
After all said and done, the citizen who is supposed to be a journalist in a small corner.
No, the few will report that. And then the rest, who have been empowered by the state because of what they see them as, oh, look, these are gatekeepers for us. Because when you are eating, you need people to gatekeep. And
no. They say when they eat, they chop. And if it choke you, you understand.
Exactly. So those ones will now come at you. These are people who ordinarily should be fighting that cause. Who come at you and say, well, it's our money.
Not gatekeepers, influencers.
They are gatekeepers. They are gatekeeping.
Well, okay, all right.
For that group.
Yes,
that group.
they say it's our money. Where you look at Abuja, stop looking at our money.
By the way, just struck me now. Delta State is quarreling with what the central government is going to do with a recovered loot from a past governor of the state. But don't you remember, gentlemen, that the governor at the time say, I beg, our money no lost.
Exactly.
I don't know where. Yes. Is it part of this system you are talking about?
Yes, that's part of the system, because what happens?
Our money no.
What happens is, take for example, a road is to be built. The road will cost 100 million. The state will value it at 300 million. 200 goes back to the man who's awarded the contract. 440 will go to somebody who will give the approval. And then the citizens who are supposed to, be responsible and cry foul will wait for what is in it for
Let me announce it's 9:40, 20 minutes to 10, and I think it's time to open the telephone line. 090-1111, that's 090-1111-1953. And 080-9222-2953. 080-922-2953. Are you a citizen journalist? Do you feel up to being one? Are you persuaded by the logic, by the opinion canvassed on Citizen Jones this morning? Let's get you talking. Yeah, so an interesting thing. Talk about gatekeepers and so on.
An interesting thing that you have actually brought up here. Citizen journalists, as you will find out on Twitter and on Facebook, especially those two platforms. If you do come out with anything that is contrary or that sounds contrary to the expectations of those in power, you would have a set of people who will come after you to say that, why don't you focus on this? Just as Liboros has
have you heard the two catchwords? Hailers
and whalers.
Whalers.
Hailers, yes. Hailers and whalers.
Hailers. Used to be a band, but I know about whalers.
And so you have this set of people. They are state-sponsored. That is not what gatekeeping by the state should be.
Yeah. That's not the ideal.
That's not the ideal. In such an environment, in such a democracy, and the same, sorry to jump there again, the same people who are doing this kind of, gatekeeping, as it were, I'm using quotes now, are the people who are advocating for censorship of the social media. Okay. And they are the first people to commit infractions against, free
That's
speech.
why I said the man who is to enforce the law is first and foremost the lawbreaker.
Well,
yes.
we have company. Looks like we have a first caller. Hello, good morning. Okay. But the lines are still open. 090-1111-1953 and 080-9222-2953. Let's get you talking.
So what we should have in a democracy, if the state wants to make an intervention in social media, then they are supposed to set up fact-checking, bottlenecks. Okay? Well, I use the word bottlenecks, but, gatekeepers. Fact-checking, levels. So that wherever somebody comes up with information that they feel is not true, then the fact checkers can come out and say, well, we have checked out this information and it is not true. That is more organized.
Yeah.
For a lawyer, for example, I come before a judge and I say, Citizen Jones committed XYZ. The judge will ask me for my proof.
Okay.
And then Citizen Jones comes to say, no, I didn't commit XYZ. And these are the reasons why I couldn't have committed XYZ. And that's the way information is. You say, contradict me with superior information.
Or logic.
Or logic. Don't just tell me it is fake. And so, because you said it is fake, and so I should flag it as fake. And that's why state censorship is dangerous.
So we have a company.
Hello, Jones.
Good morning, sir.
Citizen Jones.
Your name, sir, where you calling from?
Moses from Solo.
I didn't get that.
Moses from Solo.
Okay, Moses.
Anchoring citizenship journalism. Interesting. Now, to put it straight, look, that a lawmaker becomes a lawbreaker, as Liboros is emphasizing there, isn't good enough yet for anyone in his right senses to follow that path. Yes, they make the laws, they don't implement it, they don't carry it out because you say no one way, but you are the same person. But that doesn't make it less dangerous.
Yeah.
The fact is this: there should be the platform should regulate. I can't afford to be at the whims of a particular man.
Yeah.
There must be a central regulator, and this is where, whether we like it or not, whether it's convenient or not, the government must have a role to play. The argument has always been that, okay, they become arbitrary, they become dictators, whatever. But there still is a room for government to regulate one form or the other.
Thank you, Moses. We got it first time. Yeah, please.
Permit me to quickly punch out that position quickly. That's where...
He's not going to court.
No, we are not going to court. I just want to put a hold to
okay.
it. Because when leadership position is placed upon you, like my professor, late Professor Ibone used to say, that your ideas must be up in the heavens. And so as a leader, you must be above board. When you as a leader, you are the first offender, the moral right to regulate or enforce the law
will not be there.
Will not be there. And then people will always point at you because, mind you, people you are regulating, also you have a mixed bag of people. So that's why there's a higher responsibility placed on leadership. Once the leaders lead, people will follow. And that's why when you show example with leaders, everybody will say, if it can happen to Citizen Jones, then who am I? I won't do it. So you don't need to wait for people to commit infractions and also I want to regulate. But when you, as a leader,
but
you are the first person who will violate the law, others will follow you. And then you now have a barrage of people that you want to regulate. How many can you?
And then the other thing is that, okay, say the state puts up regulation concerning social media. The state will violate that law, and yet the ordinary citizen cannot. So we are going to have...
Why can't he or she? Why can't?
I would explain it.
Yeah.
Now, when the state puts out its minions to propagate, its ideals, you would have a one-sided flow of information. There'll be no feedback, no response, no
talk back.
No talk back. Because the person who's going to talk back has already been censored by some regulation. And if you go against it, you say, oh, this is the law. And yet the person who, commits that infraction on the state side is let go.
Citizen Joe, do you know what it takes for a man who has not committed any crime to spend years in prison for an offense he didn't commit? And so once that happens, and you now say, allow me to continually, put people behind bars for these offenses, people are going to say no, because you have not done it well. The last people you sent behind bars, at the end of the day, we discovered that they were not the ones that committed those infractions.
Oh, come on.
And what compensation was it for them?
By the way, great news from my state. No clap for me. The policeman was wrongfully dismissed 21 years after. The situation was reversed, and he was given the rank of ASP.
So when you find situations like that, it will encourage.
They backdated the promotion and so on.
Okay.
But it tells you it can be done.
Yes, that's why we said it can be done. But first and foremost, the leadership will have to show example, and then you do what you call orientation. And because, take for example, when Murtala Muhammad was head of state, they said Murtala Muhammad committed a traffic offense. He intentionally wore mufti and committed a traffic offense and was waiting to see if the police...
psych.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's leadership. And so, if at that level, a policeman will insist that, no, sir, this is an offense, and then people hear it, you report it, people will know that if the number one man can be charged for this, nobody, he won't tolerate it. But when you know that you have somebody
let me take another call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, your name, where you're calling from?
I am Jimo Akeno.
Okay.
All of you there, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to address the logic of
Liboros. Yeah.
So we now say because a leader will not obey the law, and consequently we will have so many people breaking the laws, they will not address the law. I think the law should be for everybody. The law should be for everybody. Let us all try and obey the law, whether you are a leader or a follower.
That's what I am saying. As a leader, you need to show leadership.
That's not what he's saying.
What I am saying is, as a leader, the moment you break the law, be sure that
you have lost the moral
you will have a lot of people.
Yeah, but
and then you will have lost the moral rights.
Jimo Akeron's argument is because the president broke the traffic light, so you must break it too.
So that's what I'm telling you.
No. What are you telling me?
In the society, people ordinarily do not conform. Why do you have laws?
Away from the
why
scenario.
Are there sanctions?
Nkanu, away from what we have painted, on the inside, if you are prone to breaking the law, there's nothing anybody can do.
Yes.
If you are prone to not breaking the law, there's nothing anybody can do.
Well,
that's who they are.
Yes. And so that's why you have the mothers and fathers tapping them on the wrist to correct them.
Let me quickly give you an example. I'm driving in Maryland by the traffic lights at 9 p.m. and then the light comes on red. And I stop. I'm scared, first and foremost, that, oh, look, I have some street urchins here. And I see a police van that ordinarily I know will break the traffic light, and then he parks, even if it's one policeman inside, or a siren blaring vehicle, and then he parks. The tendency for me to drive past him will not be there.
Okay.
That's leadership by example. Without telling me anything,
okay. Body
language, he has sent a very strong signal to me without telling me anything. I am not saying people should break the law, but I'm telling you that there's a higher responsibility placed on you as a leader. Your actions, your words, your body language go a long way to actually shaping the behavioral pattern of your people. So if you are known to violate the laws that you are to enforce, gradually people will see the society as a lawless one, and then to be law-abiding will be a problem. A situation where a man carries AK-47 to guard his cattle, and then in the process he invades another man's farm and kill people. And then you say, no, it is good for him to protect his cows. You're not talking about the people that have died. What you are indirectly telling others who have the capacity to carry AK-47, who are not yet carrying AK-47, is that it pays to carry AK-47. So when you now have, multiple people carrying AK-47, there'll be a crisis on your hand.
All right.
So what you do first and foremost is, once anybody breaks the law, ensure that person
essentially
faces the sanctions.
Ours is to help mold opinion here.
Exactly.
Let's begin the homeward bound, Nkanu, by looking at citizen journalism and the damnable enticement of fake news.
Okay, so let's drill down to how fake news is formulated. Somebody decides to be mischievous, whether he has, some agenda or not, and he decides to put out some information that is not correct, and it now goes out, to the public, and the public now takes that and spreads that. That is where we have fake news. Now, we have a lot of that out there. And unfortunately, of this problem, the state cannot be talking about censoring, social media, because citizens have a right to express themselves. But if the state must be part of it, let them play responsible roles such as fact-checking and all of that, and so that the citizens are advised. But by all means, let citizens express themselves. This is a democracy.
I will end the way I started. Two things for me. As everybody is supposed to be responsible to the society, but people don't just grow to be responsible, and that's why you have leaders.
Responsibility is innate.
It's supposed to be innate, but there are some persons, depending on their upbringing, depending on the society they lived in, depending on the area, their culture. So what happens is, when leadership shapes you, leadership will shape you naturally, and that's why when you're talking about citizen journalism, now it is natural. Take, for example, in other societies, right from childhood, you are trained to tell the truth always, no matter what. Do we have such orientation here? No. The answer is no. And so you just grow up in a society shaped by whatever form or shape that is daring in the society.
But is that not nailing parenting?
Yes. Parenting? Because in some cases, we as parents, we lie for and on behalf of our kids, and they know that you are lying.
To lie.
And then that what you're doing, without even telling them, you are teaching them that sometimes it is good to tell lies, to find your way through. You beg your way for them. And so when you do that also, what you're indirectly telling them is that, look, when you grow up, you can do this. And so when they start spreading fake news and rumors, not knowing that you have implanted it in them, and that's where leadership comes in. So it is a responsibility we all have.
From the home.
It starts from the home. So why do you think states don't sponsor orientation agencies? How many state governments? How many state governments have state orientation agencies?
Any more than we used to.
They all have orientation agencies. There's no state without an orientation agency. It's just, how do they function? What do they do? All they do is, they prepare news analysis, news commentaries, to praise their state governors. They prepare jingles and all of that. But that's all that they do. So they don't influence opinion. When
you know that influencing opinion is key, why do you think Rotary came out with those 4-way tests of the things we say, think, or do to shape opinion? But today we don't think, you just think that, people will just wake up one day and begin to tell the truth.
As we always say, everybody has a right to informed opinion.
Yeah.
Nkanu and Liboros. Nobody, as I said yesterday, has the right to be stupid.
They have a right.
But you don't have a right to be stupid.
If you grow up in a stupid environment, you will think being stupid is wisdom.
All right. Well, we cannot finish everything in one breath. But let me thank you folks so kindly. Liboros, Oshomah, thank you for your time.
Always my pleasure.
As we say, I put it to you that whatever you say here ends here. Nobody goes to court. All right. Nkanu, Egbe, you were here too. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I was helped, diligently by Adekunle Moradeyo. He is AKA Piper. I hope he still pipes. And
not the Viper, though.
Not the Piper, not Viper either. Yeah, and we also have Samuel Manua, a gentleman whose size I admire. I saw him the first day, and I said, "Seeing you gives me hope." Say the economy is alive. But could do better. All right, we're here tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Take care of yourself.